Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I am now in full pancake mode, which means I don't have any contouring or eyeshadow going on right now. I just have my Fenty Beauty foundation and my eyebrows done, and on my lids I have the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer set with the Laura Mercier translucent powder right here. And I also put setting powder all over my face. I did do a light contour because when I do set my face, like my foundation, I will use a tinted setting powder where I would contour and then I build up and define that on top with actual contouring powder. So today I am like really excited because yesterday I got a random package and I was like, who is this from? It turns out that it's from Urban Decay. So I made it onto Urban Decay's PR list, which is like a really big deal to me because literally not even 5 years ago I remember going to Sephora and seeing the Naked palette and I was like obsessed with it, and I wished that I had the extra cash to buy a Naked palette. So I've always looked up to Urban Decay. I feel like all of their products are incredible. Of course, I eventually got my hands on the Naked palette. I loved it. I got the Naked 2 palette. I love it, and I'm just really excited. Okay, so I still look like a pancake, but let's just go ahead and unbox everything, and then I can go ahead and start putting my face on. So this is the box that they sent to me, and inside there is an eyeshadow palette. Actually, there's 2 eyeshadow palettes, 3 lipsticks, and a highlight slash contour palette, I think. So let's just go ahead and go through each one. My favorite thing so far is the packaging because it's like everything is so Barbie pink and fantastic. This is kind of how the packaging looks like. On the back it shows you everything in the palette, and the sizing of this palette is very similar to their Urban Decay Naked Basics palette, which is like a nice little square with all the colors that you need. Opening up the palette, there is a mirror up here at the top, and these are the colors on the inside, and then it also comes with a brush that I will be using later on in the demo. So that is the first and the biggest eyeshadow palette. I think it's also the most exciting one. If you're more into naturals, there is a smaller eyeshadow palette where the packaging is just like the other eyeshadow palette. It has this pink plastic casing on top, and on the inside is of course the gorgeous eyeshadow palette. So this one is the Daydream, and when you open it up you have your more neutral colors. These are all mattes, and of course there is a nice little brush inside and a mirror as well. Moving right along, we have the highlight palette next, and of course the packaging is consistent with the other palette. This is the smallest palette of the 3 palettes in the collection, and oh my god, so there is no contour, which is okay. I'll just like contour later, but these are the highlighters and they're different shades so you can highlight as you please. This is only one single pan, so it makes it easier to blend, but the sections of the colors are big enough where you can actually just like dip into your individual color that you want. So up next are the 3 lipsticks. These are the Vice lipsticks, and the colors are Bun Bun, Cloud 9, and Spellbound. So I'm going to be swatching these later on in the tutorial, so let's just go ahead and get right into the tutorial so I can put my face on. Okay, so first we're going to start with the more natural palette. This is the Daydream palette, and the brush that comes with the palette is really small, which is great for defining areas. But when you're first starting out, you want to use a broader brush, so I'm going to use the Crown C441 Pro Crease brush, and this will give like a really nice broad application to blend everything out. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the color Daydream and build into the crease. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and build over that with the center color right here, which is called 1212. And using the same brush, I'm going to go ahead and start at the outer corners and kind of build into the inner corners of my eyes. I like this color a lot because it's super peachy and it kind of just like brightens the entire look. Okay, so now we can have a little bit more fun. We're going to go and use the brush that came with the palette, and I'm going to use the smaller side of the brush, and I'm going to take the color 8, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the outer corners of my eyes and possibly the inner. Alright, so from the Daydream palette, I used the colors Daydream, 1212, and 8, and I feel like it's a really nice, like, natural look, so you can literally stop here. There are some other fun colors in this palette. The 2 colors I didn't use were Subscribe and Lucy, because Subscribe is very similar to Daydream, and Lucy was a little bit on the lighter side for the look that I'm going for right now. But you can definitely get creative with this palette. It's just a more natural, light look. And moving right along, we're going to go ahead and go into the Kaleidoscope Dream palette, which is like so much more me because I have like a crazy like adventurous personality, and I do like the really electric colors in here. So we're gonna go ahead and dig right in and have some fun. So the brush in the Kaleidoscope Daydream is a little different. It has a rounded smudging brush, which is gonna be amazing for blending. And on this side it is a thicker brush, and it's also rounded as well. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna take the color Tagine right here, the orange one, and we're gonna go ahead and darken that crease. I'm gonna go ahead and take the small rounded side of the brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it into the color Tagine just to build a nice little like undershadow right on my lower lash line. Next, I'm gonna take the color Corona, and I'm gonna go ahead and define my crease with this a little bit. Next, I'm gonna take the color Dye, and I'm using the skinny brush from the Daydream palette, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put this like along my lash line, kind of messy, and just like wing it out a little bit. Next, I'm taking the blue side of the Leo and Braxton color, and I'm gonna put it like on the center of my lid. With a small smudging pencil brush, I'm gonna go ahead and line my lash line starting at the outer corner. And I'm also gonna line the outer corners of my eyes with that same color. Next, I'm gonna take the color Spitfire and put it along my lower lash line. For lashes, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the Lisa lashes in the style Almost Famous. And as you can tell, they make all of the difference in completing the whole look. Alright, so now let's go into the lipsticks. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the darkest one, which is called Spellbound. Okay, so full disclosure, I'm not like a lipstick person. I'm not a fan of lipsticks. I prefer glosses, liquid lipsticks, or liners to define my lips. So that makes me horrible at reviewing lipsticks, but it applies really creamy. I think that it could be a little bit more pigmented, but as always, darker colors are a little bit more transparent. So this is a really playful color. It definitely makes my eyes pop a little bit more, and it goes along with the entire like purple theme of this look, but it's just not me. Moving right along, we're gonna go ahead and put on Cloud 9. Okay, I really like Cloud 9. I think it's like really fun, and it like goes with my skin tone. I think it's really flattering, especially with this look. Like, this is probably the perfect medium. Okay, so this color is Bun Bun, super cute. This is a matte, and I feel like this is gonna be the one that's gonna be like so me because it is a good nude. Oh my god, look at this nude, it's perfect. Okay, so like I said, this is amazing. This is the color Bun Bun, and I'm like obsessed with this color because I'm like a freak for brownish nudes and pinkish nudes, and this is like a great brown nude, so yay, I found like a new lipstick that I actually like. Okay, so let's go into the last thing, which is the highlighter palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the light color right here. Okay, wow, so I am like glowing to the gods because I cannot get over how pigmented and bright this highlighter is. Like, do you see that? It's just like this like white patch that usually takes like Facetune to bring out in a picture, but here it is on camera live. It's beautiful. So since I'm like super pale right now, I'm only swatching the middle color because that's like my color, but it looks like there's a shade for everyone and you can mix and match, so I think that's really fun with the highlighter palette. So let's go ahead and get into the review. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys because that's what my channel is all about. I'm really excited to be on Urban Decay's PR list, and I might get taken off after this video. There were hits and misses. I think that the lipsticks were a hit. If you're a lipstick person, I think that you will love the lipsticks. The highlighter was amazing. Like, that highlighter is bomb. You can still see it. It's like one of the best highlighters I've ever used in my life, so that was also a hit. The eyeshadows, I really like my eyeshadow look, but I have been so spoiled with the Morphe 3502 palette, which is just like the creamiest, most velvety pigmented palette ever with like almost no fallout. So they got their formula down to a T. So going from that kind of palette to something that has fallout and not a lot of pigment is a little bit disappointing. So I would say that if you're gonna get anything from the collection, the highlighters and the lipsticks are great. The eyeshadow, you can totally work with it if you're a collector or if you really like what you saw, then go for it, you know, like get the eyeshadow palettes. But for me, honestly, I was not impressed with the eyeshadows. Like I said, you can work with it, but especially in the Daydream palette, the colors were just so light that I didn't feel like I was getting anything out of the palette. It's great for a natural look. And then for the Kaleidoscope Daydream, the shimmers needed Fix Plus to apply and get that full pigment out. So if you have Fix Plus, the colors are amazing. If you don't, I was a little bit disappointed, and I'm just being honest with you guys. So that is my full review of the Urban Decay and Kristen Leanne collection. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you guys in my next video.